Welcome back to another episode of ROC Boys Football. Taking a look at the Dallas Cowboys 2022 NFL Draft Haul, joined by Noah Rockoff, obviously our Dallas Cowboys insider, if you will, expert on the team. Rock, I'm going to kick it to you. How do you view this draft? You can provide grades. You can provide certain picks that you liked. How are you feeling about this draft?
Yeah, for how it started, day one.
You were upset.
For those who were watching on the live stream, wasn't too happy. I thought that they should have gone Jermaine Johnson. I didn't love what I saw from Tyler Smith in general from his film. Thought he's very sloppy, but he has the raw power that you'd like to see out of a future left guard and hopefully left tackle when Tyron Smith leaves. So after day one, I wasn't feeling too good. I was in the gutter for sure. Yes. Day two rolls around and we grab Sam Williams and Jalen Tolbert. Now, I wasn't a huge Sam Williams fan, but I went back to the film with a little bit of bias, so you got to take that in mind. And, I mean, you do see him play in the inside a lot, which he's not built to do. Ole Miss just needed someone at the 4-4-eye to kind of hold his own, and that's just not Sam Williams' game. So you see the production, it's there. The traits are there, the speed's there, the power's there. It's just about keeping him on the outside and not having him go against double teams on the inside. And then Jalen Tolbert, someone that I think is going to step in for Michael Gallup for the first half of the year, I'd say, and kind of play that X and kind of win on the outside where we need him to be. I didn't watch too much film on him to begin with, but I do really like his game. I think he's slippery. His routes are crisp, and he's got good speed for a taller wideout. So I like that a lot.
Good long range out of Jalen Tolbert. He was a guy that kind of got some traction in the Senior Bowl. Mm-hmm. I wasn't the biggest fan of him, but I think late round three, I don't mind the take. I think he's a guy that his last 9 games in college football, he caught for over 1,000 yards with something like 63 catch. I mean, he was putting up some numbers towards the end of his career.
And just so you know, the round 2 pick where we got Sam Williams is between, for the Cowboys, is between Sam Williams, Jalen Tolbert, or DeMarvin Leal. So at the end of the day, we didn't get Leal, so I'm pumped that we got these two and not DeMarvin. So I like that day a lot better. I was feeling good. And then day 3 in the undrafted free agency is where we really killed it. Yeah, I thought we did great. I mean, we lost out on Charlie Collier to the Ravens, 1 pick ahead of us, what kind of stung.
Did they want him if he fell? Did they want him?
Yeah, they were going to draft him for sure. But I like Ferguson. I mean, he's like a less athletic Dalton Schultz, so he'll step in and be a pro-ready tight end as a second stringer for us. So I don't mind that at all.
He is a pro-ready guy. He just doesn't bring many tools.
No.
He's just not that athletic. He's going to catch balls over the middle. He's going to block all right. Yeah, he'll be a tight end too.
And I remember his freshman year watching him at Wisco and like, oh, this kid's going to be the best tight end in the country soon. And he kind of just flattened out a little bit. But, hey, I mean, if you're going to get a pro-ready guy in the 4th round, I can't be mad about it.
Exactly.
And then let's go. Definitely a project. He is tall and he's 315 pounds, but could use another 30 to 35 pounds more on his frame. And he could really like work with that because he's skinny at 6'7", 315. But in the Senior Bowl, he's doing pretty good. His technique's pretty bad, just like Tyler Smith. But I mean, if you can develop him into even just a swing tackle for the future, it's an automatic win. And then the 2 or 3, 4 defenders in a row right here. I was listening to Dane Brugler about Deron Bland, and he's someone that he actually mocked Bland to the Cowboys in his last mock draft, and started getting me excited about him. I think that he could kind of be a developmental guy and maybe replace Kelvin Joseph if we don't see him this year. So who knows? And then Damone Clark, I think he's a round 2 guy. He gets drafted before Nakobe Dean if he doesn't have spinal fusion. So if we're looking at this as kind of like a redshirt year for Clark, I'm all for it because late in the year, Jabril Cox was really turning it up. So you hope that he comes back this year and kind of can like secure a starting spot in the defensive linebacker spot, whatever. And then in 2 years, you're going to have Micah Parsons, Damone Clark, and Jabril Cox. So that 3 could be something. So I really do like that a lot. Good value here. We don't have to really put him on a roster spot. You can
Ridgeway was probably the best value pick of the draft.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. And the Vanilla Gorilla, what a nickname. I mean, how could you not love that as a fan?
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's incredible. He's like 6'5", 320. We need a big body opposite of Quentin Bohanna. I love the pick. I think, like you said, the best value we had all draft. So I didn't, and then Devin Harper, to be honest, I didn't even know his name before we drafted
Didn't
him.
know much about him either.
Yeah. So speed guy, special teams guy, one of our 30 visits. So not surprised he came in and we drafted him.
Clark, so getting back to Damone Clark, he's a guy that I wasn't a huge fan of even before the injuries.
Mm-hmm.
But if you wanted to build a linebacker in a lab, kind of like Brandon Smith, it would be Damone Clark. I mean, he's long, he's fast. I personally, this was my take on the film, was I wish he played a little bit more downhill and physical. But then you look at the stats, like 15.5 tackles for loss. Like, he's getting downhill playing. So I must have been missing something there. But I know he was high on a lot of people's boards previous to the neck fusion, which is obviously not an injury you want as a linebacker.
No, and I'm totally with you there, by the way, with this play style. I thought that he just didn't want to initiate contact, and as a linebacker, you kind of have to need to want to do that.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
he wasn't too high on my board, but I know the NFL liked him a lot more than like Twitter scouts and us, like so.
And again, he's a guy that he's got all the traits. Like he's like Brandon Smith. Actually, Brandon Smith and Clark had a lot of the same like stuff that I didn't like about their play. Where they weren't that downhill. They didn't love the contact. They didn't like taking on blocks and getting off blocks. But they're both physically freaks, like really, really good athletes who are very good in coverage, long, rangy guys. Yeah. I want to get into your undrafted free agents because I didn't know how big this list was till we just pulled it up. But I know there's some guys that I really want to mention. I want to start off with Jacory Roberson, who I really think has a chance to make this team. He's a guy that just classic NFL disrespecting Wake Forest football. He was a first-team All-ACC guy. Whenever we needed to, I say we as a Wake Forest fan, whenever we needed to move the sticks on like 3rd and 5, 3rd and 7, like it was going to Jacory Roberson. He's long. He's got good speed. I ended up running a 4.46. Like he's got some burners to him, but he just gets open and catches footballs over the middle. He's going to be somebody who I think can produce at the next level. Ty Freifogel and Peyton Hendershot, 2 guys from Indiana, also kind of catching my eye a little bit. What out of this undrafted free agent class, who are you liking here?
Go down a little bit more.
Yes, sir.
So right here, the end of there, like those last 4 picks are outstanding. I think Mpe is a little bit better of a center than Lindstrom. I didn't love Lindstrom's game, but to even get him in the undrafted free agent, I thought was a steal because I thought he was going to go in the top 4 or 5 rounds.
Okay.
Drummond, another guy that we were really high on him early on. And again, a steal in the undrafted free agent period of this. We also got Marquise Bell, the FAMU safety.
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't understand, like from everything that I was reading and watching before the draft, I thought he was going to be an early day 3 pick, like, or even a late day 2 and sneak in there. I mean, the dude can fly. He's got great ball skills and he's a hard hitter. So I thought that was awesome. We signed into like a $200,000 guaranteed contract. So we knew we wanted him.
Yeah.
So, I love this all. And then we got our kicker with Garibay. I didn't know of him until I looked up his stats, and apparently he's like one of the best kickers in the draft, and I had no idea. So
all I know is he kicked that field goal to beat Iowa State, which we lost money on, unfortunately. 62 yards howitzer to beat him. He can play, and you guys did need a kicker.
Yeah,
it's a lot. You guys must have signed one of the most undrafted free agents. Big Cat Bryant's another guy. He was at Auburn and transferred over UCF with Gus Malzahn. He was also supposed to be like a top 50 guy on boards, like previous coming into the year. Didn't really have the last few years of college football that you like, but he's shown that he can play at a high level. This is an impressive group, and guys that I know of, like we scouted, we watched film on, which is rare to have undrafted free agents. Like there's 4 or 5 guys that I'm very familiar with from watching their film. Yeah, and they're all good ball players. I mean, Dontario Drummond's a guy that was a top 200 prospect before he ran a 4.6 40 at the combine.
Right,
he can play.
Right. I mean, he's old, he's slow, but he gets open all the time, so I don't care. And I mean, like you said with Freifogel too, if he can remain like. His film from 2 years ago was incredible compared to last year. Yeah. So I don't know if it was the quarterback situation or the off. Yeah. So I mean, if he can just return to form a little bit, I mean, that's a steal. Like,
same with Peyton Hendershot. Peyton Hendershot was like an all Big Ten guy until like all those Indiana guys were supposed to be really good ball players, and then last year with Michael Penix just couldn't throw the ball for some. It was weird. Like almost everything just seemed to fall in place for Indiana during the COVID year. Like they didn't have any problems with COVID. They were playing teams that were kind of hampered with COVID. and they
Right.
all look great. And then that last year, obviously, I think they ended up going like 2-9, something really bad.
Mhm.
Didn't end up having the year they wanted. But overall, I want you to give us your favorite draft pick. I want you to give it your least favorite draft pick, and then give me a little grade for the class.
Okay, so my favorite's gonna be John Ridgeway.
Yep.
I
Same.
changed my Twitter bio to John Ridgeway Stan account.
Okay.
I just
I
love his
didn't
game.
see that. I like it.
Yeah, I just love his game. I think the value is there, and it's made me. It really capped off the draft really nicely for us. Least favorite pick, I would probably go Tyler Smith, just because I think we reached for him a little bit. I don't think he's a day one starter, even though we're going to have to start him day one. And
Yeah.
I think that there are better players on the board that they lied to themselves that they had higher grades on. So not to say that he can't develop into something special, but I was not a fan. I'm still not a big
My take on Tyler Smith is just unfortunate you have to take a project with your round 1 pick. Like a
Mhm.
guy like Zion Johnson, Kenny Green, much less project-y guys. I think
Mhm.
Tyler Smith can come in and play interior offensive line spot at a high level, but he does need a lot of work. Him and Chris Paul from Tulsa just didn't really play with great technique. But Tyler Smith's a guy that was getting first-round buzz because you see a potential world where he's a good left tackle in the league. But he needs a lot of work.
Mhm.
So it's unfortunate, and especially like I would have liked this pick a lot more if Zion Johnson and Kenny Green were off the board, but Jermaine Johnson was like not on the
Right.
board either.
And
Like,
and that's what I'm saying. Is like, what if the first round pick was Jermaine Johnson and the second was like Bernie Ryman? Like,
yes,
I think
exactly.
like that sounds like a lot better draft to me. Like that's just me, but I
Or
mean,
guys like I mean, there were a lot of good interior offensive linemen that ended up falling that would be a good interior offensive lineman year one. I mean, I
mhm.
could Jamar Salyer. I know he fell to like the 6th round, but he's a guy that I would not have a problem with starting him at left guard. I just
Yep.
wouldn't. I think he's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
So so your favorite pick, John Ridgeway, Tyler Smith. What's your overall grade?
So overall, I said what I like earlier, A minus. I'd say B plus right now,
Yeah.
just to be a little bit more I mean, like
Fair.
realistic with
Yeah.
myself. I think that there are day one starters in this group. I think that like Sam Williams would be a rotator,
Yep.
like a rotation guy. And then Tolbert's going to start right away. And I think that with Dak, if he can get some sort of connection early on with Tolbert, it's going to be special. So we got good value. We hit every single one of our needs. And I came away very happy, especially after the first round where I was not feeling too good.
I'm giving you guys a B minus. I'm not a huge fan of the Cowboys draft class in general. I had some edge guys over Sam Williams. And it's just looking at your first 3 picks. I feel like Jalen Tolbert's a good pick. I like him, especially with how fast the wide receivers flew off the board. I wasn't even that high on Jalen Tolbert, but where you guys were picking, like that was kind of the best guy available. But it's just you didn't get a ton of guys that I'm confident are going to come in right away and make an impact. Tyler Smith's a project. Sam Williams, I think you said it right. He's a rotational guy. Jake Ferguson doesn't necessarily excite me. Not to poop on your draft real quick. I like the Damone Clark pick. I like the John Ridgeway pick, and I have no clue who Deron Bland was. I've heard the name, but I haven't watched any film on him, so I can't really like. That's not a good start, I guess. But not that I've watched film on every single prospect available. So
Right.
B minus for me. But honestly, it's you got a lot of guys who got some potential. I mean, Clark and Tyler Smith, I do like a lot in the long term.
Yeah.
All right. That'll do it for a 2022 NFL draft recap for the Dallas Cowboys. Know we got a lot of Dallas Cowboy fans in here, so let us know in the comment section what you guys think of the draft. And as usual, if you guys do like the content, you like watching college football, like talking about the NFL draft, go subscribe to the fellas. Over 900 subscribers on the channel. You guys are absolutely goated for all the support. We appreciate you guys checking us out. We'll talk to y'all later. Peace.